In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the best scalping strategy that you guys can ever use, and that is supply and demand. But before we actually get into today's video, let's roll the intro real quick. When it comes to trading, a lot of people actually ignore supply and demand. And in my own opinion, supply and demand is the best trading strategy you can ever use, whether you're scalping or you day trading or you swing trading, because using supply and demand gives you early entries, sniper entries, and using supply and demand, you're actually going to be trading exactly like the banks. Now, I'm going to be showing you guys two examples here, a buy example and a sell example. And if you guys look here on my chart, you'll see that I have a supply zone marked and I have a demand zone marked already, and I will be sharing with you guys the reason why I marked up these zones here on my chart. Now we'll be taking a look at this sell and also this buy position. So let's say, for example, and before I get into this video, if you guys hear some noises in the background, forgive me guys, just ignore the noise in the background. That's actually my family right now. They all opening up their gifts. You guys know it's Christmas season. So now Christmas is actually tomorrow. Is almost 12 it's almost midnight here as of the time I'm recording this video. So now the reason why I marked this zone here, so if we take a look at this to the left, so now I want you guys to remember that your demand zone is always at the bottom and your supply zone is always at the top. Now looking at this demand zone, the reason why I have this demand zone here and the reason why this zone here is a demand zone is because if we look here to the left hand side, and I'm actually on the 1 hour time frame right now, even though our entry is going to be on the lower time frame. So we have rejection here, and we also have rejection here, right over here. Now looking at this, now for me to take this buy position here, I would be expecting price to reject this same zone. If price had broken this same zone here, now this is no longer valid. Now it becomes something else. Now, but the fact that we had a rejection here, for me to take this buy position, now I can go to either the 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute time frame, however you guys trade. Now that I'm on the 15-minute time frame, guess what? This is what I'm going to do. Now I have my demand zone. My demand zone is valid. Now I'm going to have my entry right over here, and I'm going to make this video as short as possible. Now I have my entry right over there. Now there are two ways you can get in this position. You can either wait to see a pullback if you want to, or you can just get in because we have our confirmation on the higher time frame. So I don't need to wait for a pullback, because looking at this on the 1 hour time frame here, I have my validation here. I can clearly see that we had a rejection here, making this definitely a demand zone. Now guess what? I'm going to get in my position here on the 15-minute time frame, and like I said, you can get in on the 5-minute time frame if you want to. Now I have my stop loss right below this zone here. Now I can have my stop loss right there. Now guess what? I'm going to have my take profit. You can have your take profit here all the way up here. We're looking at 270 pips. Now I must tell you this is absolutely a lot of pips, but what you're simply doing is you're just trading you're getting in from your demand zone, and you're trying to ride this trade all the way up to your supply zone. That's all you're trying to do, but you really don't have to do that. You can save yourself and have minimum risk by, I'm gonna show you this also, by, let's say we go back to the 1 hour time frame. Now we know this is definitely our take profit target. We're trying to ride this trade back to the supply zone over here. Now we can see that right here there is absolutely a zone here. We have a zone here. So this was a zone here. We had a zone over here. We had a support zone there. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, now as you can see, price broke it here, came back, retested it, and started pushing back up. Now we can go to the 15-minute time frame. Now what I'm going to do here is, this is why I always preach moving your stop loss to entry price and keep trailing your stop loss. Now I can have a take profit here. Now this first take profit here, look at that, that's 141 pips right there. Now what do you think I'm going to do? As soon as price gets to my first take profit, even though my second take profit is going to be all the way up here, looking at 270 pips, almost 300 pips right there. Now I have that take profit all the way up there. Now once my first take profit hits over here for this buy position, once my first take profit hits, I don't know what's going on with this. So once my first take profit hits over here, now for 140 pips, what do you think I'm going to do? Now, as price keeps moving in my direction, now I'm going to have my new stop loss over here. Now I'm going to be in a risk-free trade. What you're simply doing is you just move your stop loss to the most recent low when you get in your buy position, and we have our most recent low over here. If we had done that, then your take profit would have been smashed. Now this doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, you just got to be on the lookout for stuff like this. This was definitely a beautiful setup, and I did the same thing just this week before the market actually closed, and man, it was just an amazing trade, an amazing setup, this buy position. Now this is how you use your supply and demand to get in a buy position. Now you have your demand down here, you use the higher time frame to mark up your demand zone, and you simply wait to see if price is going to break below your demand zone or reject your demand zone. And one way you can do that is by using the higher time frame to look for that rejection, just like we did here. We used the 1 hour time frame, and then we went to the 15-minute time frame to take our buy position. Now let's look for a sell. Let's see how this sell, what we were going to do for this sell position. So let me delete this. Let me delete all this as well. Now for this sell, the reason why I have this sell here, this is our demand zone here. Now the reason why I have this this is our supply zone here. The reason why I have this supply zone here is because if we look, we have one touch here. If we look to the left hand side, so this is on the 1 hour time frame, and we had this touch over here, this rejection over here. And if we keep dragging this here, we can see that we had multiple touches over there. So we had another touch over here, looking at this. So now this is how we know that this zone is actually a valid supply zone here. Now once I see this bearish candle here reject this supply zone here on the 1 hour time frame here, now guess what I'm going to do? I can go to the 15-minute time frame, and let's look for that zone here. Now I can go to the 15-minute time frame here. Now look, what this is exactly what I'm going to do. I can see that here on the 15-minute time frame, price was consolidating here. I have my confirmation here on the 1 hour time frame, on the higher time frame, that we have a rejection here. Now this is exactly what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to have my entry I'm going to wait for this bearish candle to close just to make sure that we actually seeing a rejection here, and then before I actually get in my sell position. Now I wait for this bearish candle to close here. Now I'll have my entry right here at this bearish candle here. This is exactly where my entry is going to be, and I can have my stop loss right over here. My stop loss will be right over here, and the target is to ride this sell position all the way back to the supply zone, to my demand zone. That is my target. But like I showed you guys in the when we took the buy position, you don't have to do that at all, just to minimize your risk. Now if we go to the 1 hour time frame here, we can see we have our entry right over there. But if we look here to the left hand side, we can see that we have this most recent high over here, which was a support zone, right, for our buy position earlier. So we have a high here, and we have a low over here because we had rejections. Now I have those zones. Now going back to the 15-minute time frame here. Now if we go back to the 15-minute time frame here, I can now have two take profits here. Now I can have one take profit here for about 100 pips here, and once my first take profit hits, guess what I'm gonna do? Now once my first take profit gets smashed, now I'm going to look for the the most recent low or the most recent high, and then I can actually move my stop loss so that I'm going to be in a risk-free trade. So looking at this here, once I have my first take profit smashed here, now I can move my stop loss to, for example, to this high here, or I can move my stop loss to this low over here, to this most recent low over here. So as this trade keeps going, then I'm just going to keep moving and keep trailing my stop loss. As I keep trailing my stop loss, then when I saw this also as well, if I was still on this trade, I saw this move, I'll have my new stop loss would have been right over here, and I would have actually won this trade. And we're looking at about, so for this trade we're looking at about 240 pips right over here. So guys, I promise not to make sure this video wasn't too long. So I hope you guys found value in this video. If you found value in this video, give this video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on the bell notification so you guys don't miss any of my future videos.